The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise, sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process. Welcome to the television show devoted to local business, Buffalo on the Rise, with your host, Joe Chili. There's an entrepreneurial spirit in Western New York that's putting our area on the cusp of greatness. Each week, Buffalo on the Rise features local business leaders and decision makers who are shaping our future. If it's about local business, we'll talk about it right here, right now, during Buffalo on the Rise.
I'm Joe Chili. On this edition of The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise. Is your hair thinning and falling out? Meet Dr. Michael Wizorek from HRA Hair Restoration and Aesthetics of Buffalo and hear about his revolutionary new technique to keep your hair. Is your home heating system ready for winter? Let the team from Reimer Heating and Cooling make sure. Then, do you simply have too much stuff? You may need to call Junkluggers in to rescue you and declutter your life. All on this edition of The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise.
Welcome to Buffalo on the Rise. I'm your host, Joe Chili. We're talking with Dr. Michael Wizorek today and about something that everybody concerns themselves with, hair. I mean, look at, my hair and your hair looks perfect, but it's something that everybody really worries about. And can you actually give somebody their hair back if they lose their hair?
Absolutely. Now there's expectations and there's degrees depending on the amount of hair loss and what has caused your hair loss. But very often, most of the time, is going to be genetic, androgenic hair loss, which is your male pattern and female pattern hair loss. Once we've eliminated any hormonal imbalance or any metabolic issues that may be contributing to your hair loss that we can possibly reverse. Excuse me. But reversing hair loss is one thing. Replacing hair that's no longer there involves a simple outpatient procedure. It takes one day. It's essentially painless. But we take excess hair that you have in other areas of your scalp and move it to areas where you don't have hair. It's completely painless. It is completely natural and will last forever.
Now, you're using your own hair because remember the old joke where people would say, "Oh, this is really dog's hair," and every time you walk past a fire hydrant, your hair will go up on one side. But
I haven't heard that one.
But, okay. Well, but you're using your own hair.
Yeah.
And is the process? I hate to ask this, but is it painful?
It's really not. You're going to get a couple of pinches to numb you up, but once you're numb, it's essentially a painless procedure. It's a longer day. It's going to take the majority of the morning. Most people can drive themselves to and from the procedure without any difficulty. It's extremely well tolerated. It takes about 3 or 4 days to recover at home. Then you can start to get outside and back to your normal routines.
What about, obviously I'm going to think, hair loss for men. I don't often think about hair loss for women, but is this a thing as well?
It's huge. Hair loss for women, first of all, 60% of women will lose or notice thinning hair by age 30. It's just a fact. You're going to look younger and healthier with hair. Women in particular, they get crushed by this. They have all kinds of concealers for decades. They've been using wigs, they've been using hats, different hairstyles, different colors, and what have you. Now there's weaves and clip-ins. It's stunning. It was stunning to me as a hair restoration surgeon. Oops, sorry for that women lose hair at such a high rate. Now there are male pattern and female pattern, but anybody can have either one of them. And I've seen women come in literally in tears, say they haven't taken their wig off in front of their own husband at home for a decade. And we can absolutely help these people. And the stigma that goes along with women losing hair is very real. And very often they don't talk about it like everybody talks about men's hair loss, right? So the first thing they have to know, women who are losing hair, you're not alone. There are thousands of women in this city alone that are losing their hair every day. I understand this and I can help you.
What about the products like hair club for men, Bosley, or the pills and the things that you see on TV. I mean, you know, we're in a country where people want immediate gratification, right?
Correct.
Take a pill, you know, tomorrow you're going to look like Sasquatch.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, right?
Correct. Listen, pills, lotions, ointments, lasers, they're not going to help you. There is a place for maintaining hair in medication, but not for restoring hair. If it was that easy, no one would suffer from hair loss. There would be nobody walking around without hair. Take a pill, your hair grow back. So it's important to know that once this is done, once you've lost hair, we have to just use other hair. And you have plenty of hair on your head to move around without looking thin in the back.
Well, if you need hair, I've got some extra.
Oh, the universal donor. Right.
Yeah, the universal donor. That's exactly
Yeah, well,
right.
people ask that every day. You can't use somebody else's hair. As for the hair club and the Bosleys out there, successful corporations, they've been around for a long time. By and large, they're prescription, online issued things where you can get their medications, you know, directly sent to your house without doctor's appointments. Bosley is more of a surgical hair restoration outfit that will evaluate you, and frankly, from this area, this location, I can tell you that they're going to send you to Philadelphia or Chicago or New York City, somewhere out of town, to have your procedure done. It's usually quite expensive, and it involves traveling and accommodations. When I can do this procedure for you right here in Western New York for considerably less than what you're going to have to pay overall over there. And with my credentials, being Western New York's only expert in hair restoration, I can guarantee you're going to get as good or better hair transplants, hair restoration processes here with me than you are out of town with these companies.
How do people start the process?
The process couldn't be easier. The number is easy. It's 500 hair. Give us a call. Initial consultations are absolutely free. You come in, you sit down, you'll talk with me or you'll talk with one of my experts. We'll go over everything about your hair loss and what can be done. We are a medical practice. We are not a retail store. We do not sell things. No one is selling to you. No one's going to push you to sign anything. No one's going to ask you to buy anything. Just come in and get your free information and my guarantees, and we'll talk.
All right. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Hair Restoration Aesthetics and Dr. Michael Wizorek by calling 716-500-HAIR. That's 716-500-HAIR, or go to hrabuffalo.com. Joining us today is Market President Brandon Biron. He's the Market President for Reimer Home Services. Brandon, nice to see you again. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks.
You know, I know that Reimer has been around for like 100 years or so, and you were basically known for heating and cooling, but you do other things now as well, right?
Yeah, we're a three-trade service. So 5 years ago, we got into the plumbing business, and we've expanded that business pretty rapidly, and offering water filtration systems for your home. So if you have hard water, any allergens or anything irritating the skin, our water filtration systems can help alleviate that. Into drains, main sewer lines, if you have any blockage in your home, we can get in there, put a camera down the drain, see if anything, see what's going on there, and help you solve that problem. And recently, with the partnership of Central Heating, Cooling, and Electric, we've added electrical services to the Reimer brand, and we're very happy to offer all three trades to our customers.
You know, I noticed as I'm looking at your shirt here, of the emblem that you have on there, I've seen your trucks all over the place right now, and you've got the emblems on the trucks too, right?
We do, yeah. We did a rebrand this last spring, and we're proud to have the Rhino as a mascot now, and our trucks are all over the place. You probably see Get Reimer on the horn, whether it's billboards or trucks, our commercials, but we rebranded, 102-year-old company. and that's been really positive for us and really fun. I think folks are enjoying it.
Kind of like the Reimer Rhino. That's kind of nice
a
too.
little iteration, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I have to ask you this because I'm sure everybody's been in this situation, and this has probably happened to you. I had an older house when I lived in Lancaster, and but we had just had the floors redone, so there was going to be a plumbing problem, right?
Yes.
The upstairs toilet flushed, came down into the downstairs toilet, and all over the new hardwood floor at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I think one thing we pride ourselves on is providing 5-star service and great customer experience, but we're usually going into a customer's home when it's probably one of their worst days. So we do everything we can to help solve your problems and hopefully turn things in the right direction.
Around.
Yeah.
What about some of the things that you do to support Western New York? You're very active within the community. Tell us some of the things you do.
Yeah, and that's been really intentional, Joe. Whether in May we sponsored the Buffalo Marathon, in July we sponsored the Ronald McDonald House 5K, and then as we move into fall here, we're sponsoring Everything's Rhino at the Zoo. Great partnership there. The Run for the Rhinos 5K. Would love to see a ton of folks out in attendance. We'll have our rhino mascot there. And then in October, we're really proud to sponsor Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, the walk, there in mid-October. And you'll see our technicians supporting the pink ribbon, and you'll see some of our branding turn pink as well. And then as we shift into November, we're gonna have a food drive for Western New York, and we're gonna be donating frozen turkeys to Western New York food banks across the community.
Don't drop them from helicopters. Turkeys can't fly. When we start talking about the holidays, things like this, Christmas time last year, 3-day storm. I mean, it was all across the country. Everybody knew about it. Everybody was affected in some way. But you guys had, not only did you have spectacular service, you got an award or something for it, didn't you?
Yeah, and it was, it's not really about the awards and accolades, but, again, showing up for the community, 3 days, unprecedented storm. Our technicians, plumbers, electricians, they're on the phone with customers, helping them solve problems. And for a lot of families, we were helping them get heat during that blizzard. And the reviews were great. We helped save Christmas. That was a few of the reviews that came in. And then a few weeks later, Governor Kathy Hochul presented us with the Good Neighbor Award, which, again, it's about the plumbers, the technicians, the electricians we have. They're going to go above and beyond to help the community, help our customers. So I'm just extremely proud of the team and what they were able to do.
Plus, they gave up time with their families, and they had to try to get into work to help you guys out.
Yeah, and we couldn't get out to the customers. I mean, 911 shut off, the roads were closed, so it was all conducted over FaceTime. Incredible what we can do with technology these days, but we were FaceTiming with customers and just helping them troubleshoot their systems and, hey, turn that valve, connect that wire, anything we could to get them heat, because it really was safety is always top of mind, and that was the biggest concern there.
That's amazing. That's phenomenal. Because when it comes to anything like that, I have 2 thumbs, and none of them are green or whatever. With summer drawing to an end now, fall's upon us. What are we talking about? Furnace tune-ups, things like this?
Yeah, I think as we transition, short fall usually here in Western New York, and we never know when winter's gonna hit, but getting folks prepared for the winter season. So whether you have a boiler or a furnace, getting one of our NATE certified technicians into your home to inspect it, make sure everything's running safely, make sure you're not going to run into any issues throughout the year. It's better to be prepared as we head into the winter months instead of getting caught off guard. You never know what winter's going to throw at us here in Western New York.
I live in an older townhouse, so about this time of the year, I turn my furnace on to see if it actually works. Because I don't want it to be the first cold morning or whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
What about as we look forward to fall, and maybe not looking as forward to winter, but it's going to be here no matter what we do? What about preventive maintenance?
Yeah, so for preventive maintenance, again, getting one of our technicians into the home to inspect your furnace, your boiler, whatever heating source you have, and they can, they're going to provide you with their diagnostic of what's going on with your system, anything that you can do to either increase the longevity of the system, or if it's something that needs to be repaired immediately, whether it's a safety concern or something that's going to make your system non-operable. They're going to provide you with all of that information, and our technicians are very knowledgeable. We conduct a ton of training with them twice a week at least. They're going to be able to provide you with all the information you need to make the best decision.
Brandon Barron, thank you very much for joining us again today on Buffalo on the Rise. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Reimer by calling 716-899-HORN or go to callreimer.com.
Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by the following.
Welcome to Buffalo on the Rise. I'm your host, Joe Chili. With us, Eric Conrad, who is the owner and operator of Junkluggers of Buffalo. Eric, first off, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Great to be here.
What a great name, Junkluggers. I mean, it
Thanks.
talks about what you do. I mean, give people an indication of what Junkluggers is.
Yeah, so certainly our business is predicated on doing household and commercial removals. So any unwanted furniture, things that are either in your home or your office that you no longer want, not only just furniture, it could be any types of trash or things that have accumulated over the years that you don't have a use for any longer. Our team will go in and do a full service removal of those items. We'll load the truck. We base our pricing on the volume those items will take in the truck. And what we'd like to do is donate and recycle whatever we can to repurpose it prior to, maybe making that hard decision to take something to a landfill.
All right, now, just between you and me, we'll make believe nobody's really listening to this.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten a call from a wife while her husband was at work or away, and she wants you to take some stuff away that he's been just saving forever?
That has happened. That has happened for sure, and she's under a strict code of ethics and silence where we're concerned. So it's akin to the lawyer-client relationship. We don't really say much. We're in and out before he ever got home, but yeah, she'd given him every chance to get rid of the stuff in the garage, and he just failed to execute on it. So we were fortunate enough to get the call.
We all know what that's like. I mean, that's a very common
Right.
situation, that we just tend
War
to
of the
collect
Roses.
things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, 2 years in business.
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And you service all of Western New York.
We do, Lakeview to Lewiston, as I like to say. We got our start in the North Towns. Recently just made a pivot towards the South Towns and really starting to focus our business efforts and marketing down there as well. So we're proud to say we serve everywhere in the greater Buffalo area.
Now, is junk that's being given to you guys or being taken away, is it tax deductible?
It can be tax deductible. So if we take an item, say an old china cabinet, a dresser, something that's of no longer any use to anybody in the family, or frankly an heirloom that no one's interested in, we'll take it to, say, Habitat for Humanity, Goodwill Western New York, AMVETS, or a couple other local charities. If we're able to do that and make that donation on your behalf, we'll get you a tax deductible receipt within 14 business days.
So people are going to wonder, they're going to say, all right, this all sounds great, but there's got to be a hitch. It's got to be really expensive, or how do you determine price?
Yeah, so our price is derived by the volume your items will take up in the truck. So we have everything right down to, let's say you want a single item that takes up 1/8 of a truck. Well, we got a price point for that. We have a quarter truck price, half truck price, a full truck price, and all those prices are inclusive of us doing the labor. So the guys on the truck will go into your home, they'll locate the items, or you can point out exactly what you want removed. They'll take the items, they'll carefully load the truck based on whether or not we feel they're going to be donated or recycled, or worst case is it just doesn't have any value and ends up being trash. That's essentially how we load the truck. And then once we take those items back, we'll take them into our warehouse and then stage them for donations. At that point, you've got an opportunity to get a tax deductible business receipt with us.
It's funny because I think,
Or donation receipt, pardon.
right, my grandparents, for instance, their big thing was this dining room set. This is the one that I always wanted. This is great. I'm going to pass it down to the grandkids. Grandkids don't want it.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're starting to see the end of the heirloom era. So a lot of people have that same intention, like, oh, the kids will want this. My niece, my nephew, my granddaughter, my grandson would be interested in something like this. And unfortunately, it's just not the case. The generation today just wants what they want, be it something from IKEA or Wayfair or even Amazon. And they have that vision and they're dead set on picking up exactly what they want. So for us, we get great comfort in helping people in that scenario where, hey, we tried everybody in the family. Nobody just wants this item. I've had it forever. I hate to see it go into a landfill. So we'll take it and we'll clean it up. And 9 times out of 10, Habitat for Humanity will take it if it's in good shape, and then it's going to be used by somebody of lesser fortune. So
now, when you talk about Junkluggers, do you ever go into a situation where somebody wants to get rid of something and it might be of value? Do you ever recommend to them, hey, this might have a value, you might want to keep this?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's been some times where you find something that's kind of rare or something that's, certainly unique. And, so a lot of times they just want it gone because they get that mindset where I have to clear the space and get this house ready for sale or so forth. So we tend to say, well, maybe you want to have a look at something like that, and we can recommend somebody that has some expertise in that, and they can do some on-site appraisals and then even help them from a consignment standpoint to be able to sell that item.
Well, if you ever get a call and somebody wants to get rid of me, remember, we're friends.
You got it.
Eric
right.
Conrad, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joe.
From Junkluggers. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Junkluggers and owner Eric Conrad by calling 1-800-LUG-JUNK, 1-800-LUG-JUNK, or go to junkluggers.com.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Big Wack Presents Buffalo on the Rise. For information on this and other shows, go to our website, bigwack.com, and find out how you can participate on the program if you're a hometown business. I'm Joe Chili. Thanks for watching and listening to The Big Wack, Buffalo's oldie station.
The Big Wack Presents Buffalo on the Rise was sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process.